an updated garden tour for 2019. An update on some of the plans that we have and a few of the things that we're working on. Right here behind me is the blackberry patch, and where I'm standing is where they used to come out to, all the way around here. And we actually started, Calvin started cutting them back so that we could get to the grapevine finally and get that cut out, since it was growing over the top and covering our blackberries and really killing their production. So this root right here, which is kind of washed out and hard to see, is the root that we cut. This is a mulberry tree we're also going to cut out because it shades out a lot of the grapevine. Wild grape. This is our cultivated grape, which, as you can see, we trimmed out a lot of the junk. And what happens over here is this is honeysuckle, and all down through there blackberry canes want to push up and they try to take over our grapes. So we've trimmed a path through there, and we're going to try to work on cutting more of this honeysuckle out as we go. But right now the blackberry project is really large, and along with the blackberry project, which is kind of Calvin's thing, because these things are so dangerous, I'm working on our wild raspberry cultivation project over here. So last year we discovered wild red raspberries, and they were growing among this honeysuckle. The raspberry canes this time of year are really gorgeous and easy to spot because they are this beautiful shade of red, and it makes it really easy for us to differentiate from all the other stuff that's growing through here. So what I've been doing, and as you can see here, I started cutting out all of the honeysuckle, and I've reclaimed probably 6.5 feet at least from the fence to where everything was bushing out. So I've cut a lot of stuff out of the fence. I'm still working my way down the fence line. There's a lot more canes as you go further down, and the honeysuckle tends to wrap around it, so I have to be really careful. Unfortunately, just, you know, trying to untangle some of the canes inevitably got damaged. But you can see where these bent over and touch the ground, they'll root and push up again, and they're already starting to leaf out. So you can see I dipped the canes over and used a brick to kind of hold them down. And I have these burlap sacks here for now, but I might look into maybe some landscape fabric or something else just to help cut down on the weeds and everything that's going to come back up. But as you can see, I'm trying to bend the canes in a way so that they'll be easier for us to pick later. I don't really know if this is like the most effective way to cultivate raspberries, but we're doing it. And they're wild raspberries that were already growing here, so I didn't even do anything. Our pawpaws are starting to really push out their little buds. They'll probably be some of the later ones to bud out, but their buds are this beautiful dark, almost black color. I've got another one down there, this one here, and that one. I'm also working on putting labels out for everything. The stakes that we used, the wooden stakes, those faded so fast and we can't read them at all. But luckily, because I did a garden tour video last year, I knew where everything was. There's our wood pile for our awesome fire pit that we put in at the end of last year, and that's been fabulous to have. As you can see, there's no more BMW patch. They all got moved to the shop. Now, starting at, well, about this line here should be, let me see here. Well, where the mulch pile's at, that should be our last bed. We're looking at having 26 all the way across is what I planned for. So 26 30-inch beds with 17-inch walkways, and they'll be at least 48 foot long because that's how long my tarps are. However, I do have room to make them significantly longer than that, but I think that's what we're going to start with because that's what I have tarps for. But in the future, I could look at cutting a tarp into pieces and adding additional links to tarps to make these as long as possible if I want to expand. So these rows will actually be further than forward than the 4 original rows because of the cherry tree. I couldn't make all my rows the same across. The only thing we have in the beds that was overwintered this year is some garlic through here, and as you can see, some of the garlic's starting to push up. I'm not totally thrilled with how my garlic did. Some of it kind of rotted in the ground, and I don't know if it didn't get planted deep enough or what, but the onions are absolutely thriving. They look gorgeous. These onion tops are green and happy. And down here, I threw in some leeks that were like way too small. I started them too late. And there's actually a couple, I think, that made it through winter. So we'll see what happens. They'll be the puniest leeks ever. I don't know what's gonna happen there. Either that or they're weeds. But I'm pretty sure they're the leeks. And down here, I didn't have anything. So all the other beds are totally empty. As you can see, we sort of started shaping the beds over there. And that's gonna be our really big project here within the next couple weeks, to shape 26 beds. For a point of reference, 4 beds took us an entire day. So 26 beds divided by 4, that tells you how many days, like full day, early in the morning and the evening, days of work that we have ahead of us. And if anyone's interested, please let me know. Show up with a shovel, we could use the help. Here's our apple trees. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these were chewed on by deer at the end of this season last year. But they seem to be doing all right. And they're starting to come back. They've got, still got plenty of really nice buds on them. Oddly enough, the deer left the pear trees alone, which I figured they would chew on, but they didn't. Down here, I've got the little red mulberry bush. He's pretty happy down there. And as we come up, you'll see where I've started to mulch in the... Oh, and there's deer poop everywhere. The deer loved our garden last year. We did a motion sprinkler, which did okay, but we very quickly found out that it didn't really do a whole lot for the bunny rabbits, because once the peas and the beans started getting tall enough, they could easily hide behind them and weren't detected. I've got some tree limbs that fell off this tree up here that I need to drag out. But our elderberry is starting to push out some leaves. This one and that one. And this one down here last year, we didn't think was gonna make it when we went to plant it. There was a mishap and it got like snapped off at the ground. So this one was very far behind the other ones, and this biggest one got planted first and was considerably larger than the other two, and it was planted. So this one's a little bit behind, but I think it's gonna make a full recovery. Elderberry is so stinking vigorous, I'm not really worried. It'll come back. As you can see, I started a mulch through here. There's like a lot of wild onion, and I'm not sure what this is. It's a very like succulent type, almost like a grass that's pushing up through this. I did not put anything down under this mulch. I just did a thick layer of chip mulch. My plan was for the herb garden to do as little work as possible for this, because we have so much work to do on the beds. So I'm just trying to mulch this in, and whenever I want to plant herbs, I'm just going to peel back the mulch to get down to the bare soil. I'll broad fork to loosen everything up, and then plant the herbs in ground, and we'll just see how everything does. I may get some compost to put down to plant them into, but we will see. So I've got these tarps down that I need to get peeled back and start moving some mulch again. These daffodils were already planted here. They're gorgeous. They're popping up everywhere. I just love them. And also my goal for today is to try to get tarps out over these beds here. Get the heat from the tarps hopefully will start germinating a lot of things in the bed and killing it off. So need to get going on that so that within the next couple weeks we can start shaving beds. Yeah, that's the dogs behind me. They're mad because I'm out here and they're not. But they like to terrorize. Enough. No more. And so that's all the update that I really have for today. It's really exciting. You know, things are starting to turn green. Lots of promise out here. Lots of things to come, but mostly a lot of hard work.